Okay, so it's 10 past 11. I've done about 6 out of the 16 kilometres, so I could be going for quite a while today. I was going to wait until 12:30 to stop and have some lunch, but then I found this little beauty right here, and I figured I may as well finish off a water bottle and refill it out of the running creek there. And I'll tell you what, that water is absolutely wonderful. Oh God, that is cold and that is fresh, and it is the best water I've ever tasted. You'll never get anything like that out of a bottled water. Straight from the source, ladies and gentlemen. Now these boardwalks, normally I absolutely love the boardwalks and the bridges, but today they're all covered in frost and they've been slippery as hell. So it's made the track really hard going. That and the mud. I've been up to my past the gaiters in mud. It's made it quite an endeavour, but still really enjoying it. I'm not going to stop for long, as I'm already starting to get cold, and being cold out here is the signal for me to keep moving again. So I'm going to have a high energy, high lunch, a chocolate bar, protein bar, and maybe some sugary sweets. And then I'm going to crack back into it and try to improve the pace a bit. Make sure I get to this hut before nightfall. All right, I'm sure I'll talk to you more throughout the day. I'm still really enjoying it, but yeah, really hard work. Well, how much different is this track now without the snow? Wouldn't believe that just 2 hours ago I was literally walking through paddocks, plains of button grass covered in snow, boardwalks that were frozen solid with 2 to 3 centimetres of snow on them, and now here I am deep in rainforest. Tell you what, these little fallen trees along the path, this one's not too bad, but some of the other ones that require a detour around, they kind of suck. They really slow you down. You start to build up a bit of a mojo, a bit of a rhythm in your stride. You start to, look around rather than looking down to try to see where you're going. You just to stop caring where your feet go, and all of a sudden you've got to make a detour and you've got to change everything, and it takes a little while to get back into that rhythm, but that's all right. This is why we're here. This is the adventure I wanted, and it feels like all I've done is complain a lot, but I'm not actually complaining. What I'm trying to do is point out to anyone watching and thinking about doing this time of year that these are the things that you're going to need to think about. You're going to need to think about how much gear you take, how much water you want to carry each day. Footwear. Can you put up with walking all day in wet shoes and wet socks? Now my socks have been drenched since the get-go this morning, which, looking back at it, I feel like a bit of an idiot putting on a fresh pair of socks just so that they could be drenched half an hour into the walk. So now I've got 2 pairs to try to dry at Pelion hut tonight. The boots will dry a little bit. They did dry a tiny bit on the first day, but so this is what I'm talking about. There's the path. So now that's going to require a detour. Now as you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but the track down here, it's been well worn by some other people doing exactly the same thing that I am right now, detouring around. And I'm going to go back up this way. I don't want to go spend too much time off the track. The track is the track for a reason. It's to keep the rest of the scenery pristine, untouched, undamaged, unruined. So if I can spend as little time off the track as I can, I will. In all honesty, I probably could have gone over or under that fallen tree, but you've got to give me some leeway. I wasn't doing that. But yeah, I wouldn't dare try to stop anyone from doing this. In fact, I would recommend anyone that's interested in bushwalking, even if you're only a novice, try to find someone with a bit of experience and go do it together. I probably wouldn't suggest doing it by yourself, but get out there and do this. And you can rent the gear. You don't need to go and spend a fortune on equipment. I've seen myself this trip, my thermarest punctured, hole in it, ruined. I'll be able to fix it, but not on this trip. The first night where I stayed at Waterfall Valley Hut, there was a guy there who was using one of those Kmart single mattresses, you know, the big ones that you have to blow up yourself, and they take forever, but they sit about yay high off the ground. And he's rolled up to about the same size as mine. So it would have weighed a tiny bit more, no doubt, but I tell you what, I bet he was more comfortable than I was. So you don't need to go out and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on gear. You can do this trip relatively cheaply. Unless you have really good water resistant or waterproof clothing, I wouldn't suggest doing it in the winter, in the snow period. But reading the journals at most of the huts, it seems you're going to get snow, wind, rain, adverse weather conditions every time of the year. So if I were going to invest money, that's the part I'd be investing in. Nice, comfortable. I wouldn't even really care about lightweight waterproof clothing. It would make all the difference. Today I haven't touched my waterproof clothing, and admittedly my pants are soaked. There would be an argument that I could wear my waterproof pants today while walking, but in fact it's all just come out of the top of my pack. So very muddy path. Yeah, I'll just carry them for a little bit and put them back in later. They were just clipped onto the side. It's no massive drama. So where were we saying? Yes, the argument could be made that I could have worn my waterproof pants today, but the pants I'm wearing are quick dry pants. If I leave them on, just put the thermal pants on when I get to the hut and put these on over the top, these will dry. They will absolutely dry. So there's no need for the waterproof pants, which would only make it harder for me to walk today. It would make it hotter for me to walk today, which would make my my torso sweat a lot more. I am still wearing a thermal t-shirt under all this rubbish. So I am feeling the heat from that, but this valley, the air is so cool, and I'm just so grateful that there is, touch wood, nothing falling from the sky today. Hopefully that continues tomorrow. The forecast is for clear skies, so we'll see how we go. A quick update, everyone. So there was a bushwalking club of about 20 people that just turned up at Pelion Hut. And for those that don't know me, I don't really deal too well with large groups of strangers, so I've decided to abandon Pelion Hut, and I've come up here to one of the tent platforms. So I'm going to put the camera down on the tripod soon, and we'll make a video of me putting up a tent. Wasn't the ideal situation, but there are a lot of them, and they are very noisy. I would admit they seem like really nice guys. Like, I'm just not prepared to deal with that yet. I came out here to try to find myself and find some serenity and some peace, and I don't need a bushwalking club. Yeah, probably the less said the better, eh? Let's get into setting up a tent. Well, I actually think I've made the right decision. It's lovely and peaceful up here. I just had a visit from a little Kurrajong who thought he could, or she, one of the two, could get to my my food bag, but old Jace is a little bit more wily than a bird. Famous last words. We'll see how that goes in the morning. As promised, I'll show you how I've secured the tent for the night. So I don't know if you can really see it, but I've got
a length of paracord from my survival kit, running down onto a hook there. Most of the other corners I've just banged a peg into one of the tight gaps, which I should be able to recover nice and early in the morning. They do provide chains here, but I found it a little bit long for my use, so I've wrapped it around itself. And there we go. Tent nice and secure. You're also just in time to see dinner. No, not quite. You're not yet. Still boiling. Right, yeah, it's quite cool out here. The bushwalking club that turned up, they're actually going to go and tackle Mount Ossa tomorrow, and with 20 of them on the track, all going to the top, I kind of feel like I'm going to give it a skip. Instead, I might go tackle Mount Pelion East, which is a fair bit lower elevation, but the view should still be fantastic. It's disappointing for me that my own problems and whatever else I've got going on for me is preventing me from going to do something like this, something incredible and something that I've wanted to do for so long, just because there are other people using it. It's ridiculous, it's silly, but it is what it is. I'm not going to let it spoil my adventure. The adventure continues always. Sleeping in a tent tonight. It's a good night for it though. I have no problems at all about sleeping in a tent. I've slept in a lot worse, a hell of a lot more times. That thing's going to be quite luxurious actually. Yeah. Let's wrap up today, shall we? 16.8 kilometres. 16.8 kilometres of grueling, muddy, wet, beautiful scenery. Amazing things to see. I'm so pleased that the sky's been clear so that I can actually see everything around me, and it has been worth it. Absolutely worth it. I would hate to have walked today and missed the mountains, missed the snow-dusted mountains, the lookout at Fourth Valley. That was just incredible. I've got photos of that, but the old GoPro here didn't quite make it to that one. It's a long day, it's a long walk. I do actually feel like I could have kept going and pushed on to Kia Ora Hut, but that would have pretty much sealed the deal on not doing either of the big mountains tomorrow. So we'll see how we feel. We'll see if I can get some courage pills into me and handle being around 20 other people. Fingers crossed. We'll see how we go. When I got to Pelion Hut today, I was blessed to have the sun in the right spot so I could hang most of my clothes out over the rails, and they dried. My wet weather gear is dry. Shirts, underwear, socks, dry. Everything is completely dry. On one side of the hut I was able to get stuff dried by the sun, but on the other side of the hut there's still snow on the ground. So that's Tasmania. It was warmer outside the hut than inside the hut with the heater on. And the heater didn't dry my stuff anywhere nearly as well as hanging it out in the sun did. So there, that just goes to show, yeah, Tasmania, you just can't pick it. The weather is just bizarre. All right, I am going to have something to eat now, and I'll be back. You guys literally get to miss all the fun stuff. I just baby powdered my balls and my ass crack. Bit of chafe today. You get that though. I'm pretty sure you guys didn't want to hear about that, think about that, and you definitely didn't want to see that. But I'm telling you, that's what I did. So, this is the tent. Bit of stuff just lazily thrown around inside here at the moment. My sleeping bag with my busted ass sleeping mat. It's actually quite comfortable. And the pack sits down there. I have taken the food bag back down to the hut. And I did say to the bushwalking club, my apologies for running out like that, and explain myself. They were really good about it. And yeah, I've hung my food bag in the hut because the dreaded black-tailed possum down here will rip through the tent and the pack and the dry sack to get to that food. He's an unstoppable food hunting machine. I've already told you I had a little Carajong following me around while I was having tea. He thought he was getting something delicious. He was sadly mistaken. Not really much else to say. Like, it's surprisingly warm in the tent. I don't need this many layers on. I could quite easily layer down and still be comfortable. Like, I don't feel the need to get into my sleeping bag at the moment. I don't actually know what the outside temperature is. It's a clear sky tonight, so it's guaranteed it will drop and be cold. But there's no wind. There's nothing falling from the sky. There's no 20 people's worth of loud noise that I can hear. All I can hear is a waterfall up that way, and the occasional squawk of a Carajong who still thinks he's getting fed tonight, but sadly mistaken. Yeah, what else? A little bit about the tent. May as well do a review on that while we're here. So you've seen how easy it is to put up. This is the Mont Moondance 1, the 3-season tent. I could have quite easily slept in it last night, but I had a hut all to myself, so take advantage where you can. I should have actually slept in this because it probably would have helped dry the clothes a lot faster. It's a good little tent. Very easy to set up. You saw the Y pole go through the middle and how easy that is to put together. This is a really cool feature. I don't know how well you can see. I will attempt to illuminate for you. So you can unzip this inner compartment, and then you can unzip, sorry, I'm pointing the camera in the wrong direction, this here outer compartment, and you can actually pop it up and open the ventilation shaft. And it will stay open, but I don't really think I need the ventilation tonight. Try not to blind you guys. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, this tent isn't cheap. Even with the deals that I get from Aspire, it's still not a cheap tent, but it is fantastic. It's light. I can't remember exactly how much it weighs. I think it's in the vicinity of 1.2 kilos. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll try to put it up on the base of the screen if I'm incorrect. It's light, it dries fast, it's really easy to pack up. It's not one of those tents where you have to roll it and fold it perfectly. You can literally grab it in the morning when it's dripping wet and stuff it into the sack, throw it in the pack and start walking. It's brilliant. It does only have the one door, so you do have to orientate the fly the correct way. Luckily all the tabs and all the clips on the outside are all color coded, so you'd have to be a bit of an idiot to mess that up. That being said, I have done that before. Yeah. I don't really know what else I can talk about tonight. I don't actually have a great deal to say. We'll talk about the sleeping bag. So I mentioned in my equipment video, it's a nothing fancy sleeping bag. It's a Denelli that I got from Anaconda, nice and cheap. It's rated down to -6. It's been a really good sleeping bag this trip. I'm personally not a fan of the cocoon type sleeping bags, which this is one of those, but this hasn't given me any grief. If anything, I've been sleeping quite well. I slept most of the afternoon away at Windermere yesterday just because it was so cold. I just wanted to jump straight into the sleeping bag and just zonk out, which I did. Yeah, I've been combining it with a sleeping bag liner, which we talked about a little bit in the equipment video. Thermalite, Cedar Summit Thermalite sleeping bag liner. It's done the job. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It keeps you warmer. It's kept the inside of the sleeping bag clean. It's probably absorbing all of my body odor at the moment and keeping it out of the sleeping bag, which is great. I still will need to wash this sleeping bag. I mean, you'd have to be mad not to wash it after spending 7 nights in the thing, especially last night with all the sweaty clothes and wet stuff underneath of it. It's definitely going to need a wash. But yeah, it just goes to show, like, this sleeping bag was $50-60 maybe. It just goes to show you do not need the best and most expensive gear in the world to come out here and enjoy yourself. This sleeping bag has been more than enough for me. I haven't even been sleeping wearing all my clothes. I've been stripping down to the bare minimum layers, and I've been quite comfortable and toasty. Yeah, I feel like that's enough for tonight. I'm pretty keen to get some stuff on charge and have a bit of a kip. It's been a long day, and I'm thinking that I'm going to get up a lot earlier than these guys and try to get a bit of a head start on them. That way I can possibly get Ossa in. They're planning on leaving around 8. I'm hoping that they gin around a little bit and don't quite get there in time. I'll hopefully leave it around 6ish. All my gear is dry, so I won't be having the squealing sessions that I had this morning. I'll just get up, get my stuff on, go. And I'll get to the track junction and make the decision if I'm going to actually conquer Ossa or if I'm going to go left and take on Pelion East. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will be along for the ride. I'll talk to you then.